When Sony unveiled their upcoming 5v5 shooter Concord, people were absolutely destroying it over the fact that it looks like an Overwatch knockoff. They had pronouns in the characters' bios in the trailers, and we also found out that some of the developers who are working on this project have attacked white people in the past simply for existing, but now we have the media trying their very best to damage control for this awful looking game. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube membership. So over the past couple of days, there have actually been quite a few articles that have gone up from PC Gamer and The Gamer in order to try to defend Sony, a company they love, and also this upcoming DEI shooter. Now, right off the bat, I'd like to show the massive ratio the initial gameplay trailer has on YouTube. 385,000 views, sitting at 5.4k likes to 48,000 dislikes. There are nearly 5,000 comments of people saying things like, I am shocked Sony left the comment section open on this trailer. It really doesn't look good. Did you seriously expect people to actually buy this? Because it is similar to something like Overwatch. Honestly, a lot of the gameplay we saw looks like a cut and paste, maybe with just like slightly different color schemes on characters. Why would I pay $40 to buy this game when I could simply play Overwatch for free? Never mind other similar arena shooters that are already on the market, but PC Gamer and The Gamer are trying their best to defend this, saying it's hard to complain about hero shooter fatigue when Concord looks this good. It's just another example, another few examples of the media being completely out of touch with the audience they are supposed to be writing articles for. They are digging themselves deeper into irrelevancy by posting garbage like this, because it just proves to people like you and me that they don't know what people want in video games. What they think looks great really doesn't. And of course, when this game finally launches, we know for a fact that they are going to attack us saying we're closed-minded, we're, racists or bigots or some Istanphobe, simply to continue to try to defend it because they already are. It says I was on vacation last week, so I got to experience the reveal of the FPS like everyone else, forgetting a state of play stream was happening, tuning in 15 minutes late, then rewinding to the beginning thanks to the magic of modern live streaming. Hey, I am on time live streaming all of these Summer Games Fest events. I don't know why it's so hard for somebody at PC Gamer who does this for a living to actually start watching them at the proper time. It says Sony only had 2 big games of its own to showcase, not expected since slowly seems the permanent pace of big budget game development, but I was surprised that while everyone around me was hooting and hollering about Astrobot, I was the only one who wanted to see more Concord. I keep seeing variations of the same 3 reactions. It's an Overwatch clone, another Dead on Arrival service game, or a multiplayer game that should be single player, but that's not what I saw. The cynicism around service games is earned, but when I look at Concord, I see heroes that I don't recognize from other games, intricately designed guns I want to shoot, and a format of FPS that we rarely get outside of Call of Duty these days. They clearly are not actually looking hard enough at the criticisms of this game then, because people are calling it a Guardians of the Galaxy clone, an Overwatch clone. People are highly criticizing the fact that it's their debut game. They are not going to have any form of a free open beta. None of that. All of these things are being heavily criticized, but instead, they're just saying, wow, this is something that we haven't seen in a long time, which is not the case. We also have the gamer saying, I'm not the target audience at all, but Concord looks cool. If the people at the gamer are not part of the target audience for this game, then absolutely nobody is. It says the state of play opened with an extensive look at Concord. The 5v5 hero shooter is Sony's attempt to build on Helldivers 2's success, moving deeper into into the multiplayer space with a game that takes Overwatch's DNA and splices it with Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't play this kind of game, but if I did, Concord is one I would want to play. They say Guardians of the Galaxy meets Overwatch is a pretty good pitch. No, it's not, because these are video games themselves. If I wanted to play Guardians of the Galaxy, I'd go play Guardians of the Galaxy. If I wanted to play Overwatch, newsflash, I'm gonna save myself $40 and go play Overwatch. It says, though, the overtones are so heavy because the Concord segment of the state of play began with a lengthy CG trailer with really high production value. We are constantly seeing CG trailers. They're not that high production value. Yes, they might look good and they might look flashy, but I am not buying a movie. I am buying a video game. Show me content. Show me gameplay. Show me one ability from every single character. Tell me why I should buy your $40 game instead of going and supporting Blizzard, who has been around significantly longer in the industry and, while yes, has kind of thrown a lot of faith of consumers in the trash, still has some level of consumer confidence. Like, people would still rather support a Blizzard game than they would a Firewalk, which is just Sony, and their $40 brand new title, especially when it looks so generic. That's a problem with this game. It doesn't look unique. They said it's going to have tons of unique abilities. Why didn't you show them to us then? Why are you holding back and you're just showing us McCree clones? You're just showing us May clones. You're not actually showing us that unique content. They even go on to question if multiplayer games are the best vehicles for episodic storytelling. And they compare it to things like Game of Thrones, saying, oh, the reason why something like The Wolf Among Us or Game of Thrones were so popular is because you had this big unfolding story. And while yes, I could generally agree with that, I don't agree that multiplayer games specifically can do this better than other types of games. You can have a title, any kind of video game, where it's simply cut into chapters and then people play those chapters. Like, that isn't synonymous with multiplayer. Then we also have the gamer saying Concord's price gives me a flutter of hope, saying because it's not a full price $70 video game, that means people are more likely to purchase it. And maybe that means that this game's content is actually going to be so good they instantly didn't want to charge $70 because they want more people to play it because they know that it's going to be a big hit. Like, it is such hope at this point. There's only so many articles that one outlet can put up defending this company who's brand new, who again, yes, is owned by Sony, before people start pointing at them and laughing and calling them shills. This is why people do not go to Kotaku's, Polygon's, PC Gamers, The Gamers, in a lot of cases for gaming news, because you guys are so biased. And like I've said in my other Concord videos, maybe this will end up being a really solid title. We still have a bunch of time before it launches to see more teasers and trailers and gameplay segments, and maybe it will end up being really fun at the end of the day. But right now, I and a lot of other people clearly have not seen anything to get us very hyped for this launch, and seeing Game Journo's absolutely shill for this game doesn't make me any more excited, and honestly makes me even more worried about it, because they're already running damage control because the trailer is getting so brutally ratioed. So only time will tell. We've still got a bunch of time before this launches, but so far it is really not looking good for Sony and Concord. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.